Hey folks, it's Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge. Today we're taking a look at the spike. Not the railroad spike. This is another knife by Bestech. And we're looking at a knife that's a very simple kind of design. And I think a lot of people are going to find this quite attractive. We've got a handle that just slowly sweeps down very gently. And we've got a blade that's not quite a straight back blade. There's actually a tiny bit of a drop here, so it is a drop point blade. High saber grind, call it a flat grind instead of a full flat grind. That's what I'm going to call it, a flat grind. And it has 12C27 stainless steel, good budget steel. Flipper, right there. A little bit of jipping on the front of it, so light switch method works great for this one. The push down method, not so much. You just have to pull back. And we've got a inset liners in here, so it looks like G10 all the way around. Very comfortable in hand because of that. And if you're interested in a full-size knife that has various color options for the handle, and you can get it with or without this black wash on the flats of the blade here. It can be just a stone wash or this black wash. I'm starting to get deep into the review already. I keep doing that. So if you're interested in this kind of knife, stick around for the full review of the spike coming at you right now. First off, I've switched up the background. I used this, a little over a year ago for a while, this piece of wood, and I'm just trying it again. I thought it might look good with the green. And the other side. Bestech made this knife, and I think they made a really good choice with this thing. A lot of really good choices. We've got a nice long blade here. Oh, Bandit's busy. Oh, I was off for a little while taking care of Bandit, so I'm not sure where I was, so I'll start from the top. 12C27 Sandvik steel. We've got a knife that's about 3 3/4 of an inch long, a cutting edge, and a handle, that's under 5 inches. So that's a pretty good proportion. I like that. It looks like if this was a racing car, it would be fast, wouldn't it? That's what it looks like to me. It looks like it's fast. The handle's got lines milled into it, and then you've got what looks like this would be an S. That's really nice. And like I said, it's got the inset liners. So you can see the liner brightness right there. So it's inset behind the G10. We've got a back spacer of G10, a small back spacer that's got a little bit of jimping in it, and that's nice. Lanyard hole, and I really like this lanyard hole, so let's see if we can focus this thing up here. There you go. So you see this lanyard hole that's got insets right there, so that if you tie a lanyard through here, it's not going to bulge out quite as far. So that's really nice. I just wish they would have made those a little bit deeper, because it's still going to bulge out a little bit, and they didn't need it to have to be that big. They could make it smaller without it making anything weaker at all, because you still have a little bit of steel liner behind there still. So, but that's a really good start doing that right there. And I just wish they would have done a little bit more of it, but hey, that's not a con at all. And then back here, you can see the handle on the inside, and you can see the lock release arm right there. It's got a little bit of a nice chamfer on it. It's on a bit of an angle. So that's nice, easy to access to unlock the knife. You can see where the lockup is on there, and that lockup is quite good. And I'll show you a good close-up picture just in case this isn't focusing just right. And really nice sharpness choil right there. So there's lots of room to get in there. We've got a gentle plunge, so it's got a bit of a radius instead of just plunging straight down. So you can sharpen right to the end quite easily. This is still the factory edge on here. And I will tell you what the angle is when I do the measurements, but not out loud because I haven't measured it yet. I'll do that afterwards when I go to sharpen it. Pocket clip is right side only. It's one of those deep carry pocket clips. And I'll talk about the distance and stuff. I'm just giving you most of the close-up shots right now just so you can get a good look at it. There's the screw. That's the adjustment screw right there. So it's got, you know, a decent little shape to it, round, and then it's got those edges that step up right to it, and then Torx, of course, in there. I think that's a T6. I wish they would make everything T8. So there you go. That's the general shape and design and style of the thing. But look at that, those grind lines on there. Beautiful. I do love a stone wash as my favorite, but the grind lines on a nice flat grind or even on a hollow grind can be very appealing to me. They can look really, really good. And these are quite nice. Cutting edge is 9.5 centimeters, which is 3.74 inches. So 3 3/4 inches basically. The blade length is a little bit less because the G10 comes out forward here up to the tip. 9 centimeters, 3.54 inches. The blade thickness is 3.7 millimeters. That's 0.1457 inches. The blade depth, and I measured it, you know, about ½ an inch from the end right there, a spot where you often do a lot of your cutting right here. 2.6 centimeters, 1.02 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind right there, and again, about an inch from the pivot, well, an inch up the blade. 0.52 millimeters, that's 0.02 of an inch. Great thickness, especially for this steel. I love that. And the grind angle right here, the edge, the angle that this final grind was at, that information's on the bottom of the screen right here. The handle length is 12.2 centimeters, 4.8 inches. So it's under the 5 that I mentioned before, but 4.8 is quite up there. And then the grip area between my thumbnails is about 10 centimeters, 3.9 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, at the thickest point is 1.37 centimeters. That's 0.54 of an inch. Great thickness. The handle depth is biggest right here before it sweeps down, and right here after it stops and turns flat again. So right there and there it is 2.5 centimeters. That's 0.98 of an inch. So basically an inch. And the total length of this knife with the blade deployed is 21.3 centimeters, 8.39 inches. It weighs 118 grams, 4.2 ounces. How did it get down to those 4.2 ounces? Well, take a look at these still pictures of the skeletonizing and the ball bearings and all the other good stuff on the inside. So guys, I wanted to show you the inside of this knife with the skeletonizing that there is on the one side to help get it to a good weight. But knife is not able to be taken apart with the tools that I have. And I've got a pretty good wide variety of tools, largely because the pivot is a free spinning pivot. And I don't have a tool that fits on that unique shape that you have there. I'll give you a nice close-up shot of that. So on this side, yeah, you've got a Torx screw hole. If you're going to make a free spinning pivot, put another one on this side. Sorry that I sound a little upset, but I just finished screwing up this knife. Well, the screws, like this hole here, I've messed it up. I don't know, will Bestech send me some replacement screws? Probably because I'm a reviewer, but would they send it to you? I don't know. I'll have to find out. And I'll try to find out for you. But that'll have to come in a different video because I've got to post this. So I used my drive grip and everything, but it just was taking so much force, and I had to put this into a vise to hold it, and then I got a screwdriver on either end of it, and it's just awkward. I had to do the same thing to loosen up these guys at the back. So yeah, at this price range, I'm expecting just a little bit more as far as being able to do knife maintenance. Is it a well-built knife? In every other way, yeah. Great ball bearings. Action's wonderful. Great hand feel. Well, that's back to the rest of the review. I just don't like how challenging it is to be able to take this knife apart. Price for these knives, as I said earlier, Bestech sells their knives for $52 across the board. That equals $67.84 Canadian, around 44.69 euros, around 39.79 pounds sterling. So for $52 US, that's not a bad price for this, for what you get, in my opinion. You get a decent quality budget steel. You get well-made, well-milled G10. You get skeletonized liners. You get lockup that is at exactly the right spot. You get, actually, the detent ball. Did you see it on the still pictures? That detent ball, I would bet any money that, well, I don't have a lot of money, any money that I have, that's a ceramic detent ball. And, Bestech just makes really, really good stuff. I like it an awful lot. Unique features of this thing. Well, it's not unique to have a great, big, huge, long belly on a knife with a nice, gentle curve, but it's special because that is excellent for slicing and cutting. It's really great to have a nice, long belly, and they've done a great job with that. And this flat area here is also quite good. It's a very good cutting knife, a very good design just for actual use. There's a slight chamfer on the side of the blade right here, and then there's a significant chamfer right up here. And let's get a close-up of that. There we go. Why do I want a close-up of that? Let me get my hand over here because I can't see. Because I hate it. That's the one mistake. Well, hate is a really strong word. I dislike it. I think they made a mistake doing this chamfer here. And especially since it's more narrow here than it is at the end of the chamfer. It sort of goes wider. If you can see that, it's quite narrow at this end, and then it goes thicker. Because when you're doing hard work, you might start off with your thumb back here where there's a little bit of jimping, and that's nice. But you might also want to go up like this and do some hard work. At least I did. And when my hand's down here and I'm pushing hard, and now I'm pushing on a more narrow edge, and it gets hot on my thumb that much more quickly. Now, is it too narrow? Well, it's not bad. But I wish they could have done the same similar accent if they would have kept it just like they do at the end here, instead of going deeper here or more narrow there. Because if it gets too thin, it just gets hot on your thumb that much more quickly. So I really wish they would have left that alone. If they wanted to do something, they could have done just a slight radius down in so that it would fit with the curve of a thumb, right? So that would be really nice. And some real gentle jimping along it or something. But this isn't bad, and it looks good when the blade's just on the table. But functionally, I think that was a little bit of a mistake right there. Now let's go over the pros and the cons again real quickly. Perfect sharpness choil, or Spanish notch, whatever you want to call it. It's got a great feel on it. It's great action. You can see the detent ball hole right there, and you can see a little bit of the detent trail right there. And that just happens because they did this swept back kind of look. I don't mind that. Some guys really don't like that, but I don't mind that at all. We've got this nice lanyard hole that they made back here, and the way this was reduced, I really like that. I'm very glad that they use Torx everywhere, but I do wish this was a larger Torx, a T8. I do always recommend guys to buy good quality screwdrivers. There's some German-made screwdrivers that I think are the top of the game. The access to the liner lock, I like that they cut out enough here so you can get to it. I've had some knives recently that it's a little bit harder to get to that access lock than I like. And that's the knife. Let's show you a little bit of cutting with it. Just generic copy printer paper. I'm going to cut. Push cut, trying to stay on the same spot of the blade the whole time. You can cut harder stuff. Here's some of that Ethernet cable that I've had. And on a table, you know, it's always more tricky to cut through this stuff because this stuff is really, really hard. But let's cut it when I've got it in hand. I've got, I think, one more cut after this left, and then this thing's done. Oh, well. And let's see how well this cuts after I get a good grip on it. Oh, that was slid out of my hand. There you go. That cut pretty good. It was a little harder than I hoped it would be, but that's because I still got the factory edge on here. And the factory edge, is a good edge, as you saw cutting the paper. So I like 12C27 steel. So this is factory edge. I haven't stropped it or anything. It looks good and it feels good. And once I've got my edge on here, it's going to be quite a bit of a step above good. It'll be awesome. What do you think of this knife? Do you like it? Would you like to buy one? I need to raise some funds, so this one will be a knife that I'm willing to sell. Thank you for watching my videos. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I don't respond to all the comments, though I read them. If you must contact me, email me at Canadian Cutting Edge. Email me at CanadianCuttingEdge@gmail.com, and I will respond to every email. It might take me a day or two, but I'll get around to it. Just because I'm very busy, and my evenings I keep for my wife and any family that comes over or anything. So it might be a little while before I get back to you, but I'll do my best. So this is the Bestech Spike. I showed you a picture of all the colors that it's available earlier in the video. So if you're interested, go ahead and get one. Remember, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.